Hi everyone, Stepan here. Welcome to another training game. This is game 90. I won the last two games. So let's try to start a winning streak. I consider it a streak after 4 games. We're playing the Caro-Kann. Okay. And I wanted to go for the Gurganidze, but he played knight d2, so the Karpov. We will see what happens. Knight f3 I'm not too upset about. This I'm really happy to see, unless knight e5. Okay, this is very passive, and black is already equal. Now the d-pawn needs to be defended. c3 is the best move, and black has managed to get the bishop outside of the pawn chain for no compensation for white. Usually in the Karpov this bishop is stuck on c8, the very same position. Oh, bishop e2? Come on. This seems very bad. Okay, let's not play weird moves. Let's develop to the best squares. So bishop d3 followed by bishop e2, and then also allowing my bishop out. I don't know. Probably it's equal, but I would take black. White wasted a clear tempo. I don't know why white would do this. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's castle. Now I want to go for e5 or c5 at some point. Probably c5. Yeah, I'm not too concerned with that. Even if my opponent takes, I'm very happy to play gf6, defending the e5 square. So let's actually go queen c7, so that prevents knight e5. So let's have a look. Queen c7, knight e5, bishop e5. If d e5, I take on e2. If bishop h5, I go bishop h2 check, and then take on h5. Okay, I like queen c7. I like queen c7. Obviously I don't care about bishop takes f6, because then the weakest square in the Caro-Kann, the e5 square, has been sufficiently defended. I don't want to go h6. I mean, that would just be a weakening move, because the structure with doubled f-pawns and the bishop on g6 is actually very safe. Yeah, this I'm very happy to see. Very happy to see this. Now black should have a significant advantage. My god, this is a very thematic Caro-Kann position. I've had this many times. Okay, my opponent wants to play c5, misplacing my bishop. I don't even think I need to play c5 to prevent that, because I have the f4 square. So let's have a look at king h8. King h8, c5, bishop f4, g3, bishop h6. Or, excuse me, rook g8. King h1, g3. Oh, sorry, king h1, bishop h6. I may play c5 because it's very tempting to get my bishop to the diagonal, but my opponent's probably gonna go d5, c5, d5. So c5, d5, c5, d5. Yeah, I don't want to allow d5. For now, I'm just going to go rook a d8 to prevent c5, because on c5 I have bishop c5. I don't think c5 is necessary. I'm afraid of d5. This also prevents d5. My plan is king h8, rook g8, and pressure on g2. If my opponent moves the knight, it would have to go to h4. I don't know. Makes sense. Still, c5 cannot be played. So let's go king h8. Okay, so wants to play knight h4 or knight d2. Can I reverse the move, the order of my pieces? Also wants to play c5 without hanging the queen. So let's play a sneaky move. Queen e7, avoiding c5, because I have bishop b8 and preparing queen c7 after that. If bishop d3 here, I think I can get away with f5, or I can just take on f3. Honestly, I'm not sure. So let's have a look at bishop b8 and rook h8, rook g8. Let's go rook g8 first. If my opponent plays d5, well, I could go bishop b8 first to prevent d5. Yeah, let's go bishop b8 first. Because now d5 just hangs a pawn, and if the rook is blocked with bishop d3, I can take on f3 takes and take on d4. If knight h4 now, I'm playing queen c7. I love my position. It just seems like a very, very aggressive position. I don't think my opponent should have taken on f6. Because the e5 square, as you can see, now the e5 square has been covered by the f-pawn. And this is the case in many Sicilian positions as well. The structure in the Najdorf, although this pawn is usually on d6, and this one sometimes is on e5, is actually pretty safe. Okay. So now if I go queen c7, what does my opponent do? Because I'm threatening to take on f3 and play queen h2. So g3 seems kind of forced. Is there a way to get to the h3 pawn? There is. I could go queen c8. Okay, so queen c7, g3, queen c8, threatening e5. Or queen c7, g4 actually. But I have bishop g6. Okay, let's just go queen c7. Let's see what my opponent does. Either g3 or g4. g3. Okay. So now, what if I go queen c8? What if I go queen c8? What does my opponent do? At some point, they are going to have to go g4 there. I should also consider playing rook g8 now. Or do I want my rooks on the d file? No, I think rook g8 is better because may seem weird, but I also have rook g6, rook h6. My opponent is missing a dark squared bishop, and this also gives me the option to play rook g6, defending the pawn on f6 if needed. Okay. My opponent's trading pieces. If I can somehow miraculously play something takes on h4, then it's mate on h2. So do I have anything better than taking on e2? I could go rook g5. And then if bishop h5, rook h5, I'm threatening to take the knight. Yeah, I just don't want to take on e2. Rook g5 also doubles up my rooks. Am I afraid of g4? No, it's just mate. Okay, so let's go rook g5. Let's not waste time. Bringing more pieces to the king side seems promising. Even though the bishop is a great piece, I don't have a way to bring it to this diagonal easily, so I feel like it's my worst attacking piece, despite these two pawns being on g3 and f2. My opponent doesn't have time for bishop h5, rook h5, queen e2 because of rook h4, winning immediately. Okay, so the g-pawn is pinned. So I could also consider f5, f4, but then g4, and then f3. Wow, that's a strange move. It makes sense, but it's a very strange move. Can I actually play bishop g6 and take with the h-pawn to prepare rook h5, followed by rook h8? I feel like my opponent's knight is better than their bishop. The question is, do I go king g7 first? And is my rook in trouble? My rook could be in trouble. If bishop g6, knight g6, h g6, f4. Rook h5, g4, rook h6. No, it seems okay. What if they start with g4? Then I could go rook g8 and f5. I actually like that. I'm gonna do that. And I'm not recapturing with the rook. I'm recapturing with the h-pawn to play king g7 and rook h8. Oh wait, there is f4 immediately. What am I saying? Oh no, there is f4 immediately. Where does my rook end up? h5? I don't want my rook on h5. I completely missed that the bishop is covering h5. Oh, sorry, that the bishop is covering h5. I don't want my rook on a5. Okay, so I take with the rook. I don't have an alternative because my rook is trapped. There is no bishop h5 now because of rook h6. There's no bishop d3 because of f5. I wanted to get pressure on the h-pawn. Yeah, this was... I didn't see that. Okay, so what's the idea? Bishop d3. I guess. So let's go king g7. If bishop d3, I go rook h6. I may also go f5, but I don't feel like going f5. On rook h6, there is queen g4, though. So let's see. f5, queen e5 check. Loses a pawn. f5. What else does my opponent do? f5. If rook h6, queen g4 check is annoying. I mean, I don't have to move my rook yet, though my opponent is threatening to move the queen. And the d-pawn is kind of hanging, so on f5 my opponent has to play either queen e3 or queen f4. Queen f4 loses a pawn, queen e3 queen e3. Yeah, I think I'm playing f5. Because the d-pawn is hanging. I mean, it's not going to be easy to defend. If queen e3, I have queen b6 winning a pawn. Okay, so what's wrong with queen b6? Doesn't queen b6 win a pawn? Queen b6, my opponent could play g4, but I have f4. Queen b6. Is it stupid to misplace my queen like that? I don't think so. Let's go queen b6. Let's grab a pawn while we can. Okay, so my opponent wants to go bishop h5. I'm not too concerned with that, to be honest. I have f4. Do I take the pawn on b2 or do I play f4? f4, queen, where? Queen f4, queen e4 maybe? Takes, no, I'm grabbing a pawn. I'm grabbing a pawn. Okay, so I don't have, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to throw in f4. Because I don't have rook h6, there is queen g5 check winning a full rook. So f4, gf4, I think. Yeah, okay, f4 seems forced, so let's just play f4, and then we will see what happens next. I don't have rook h6 or rook f6 because queen g5 wins. My opponent's playing very, very quickly. I think I'm playing relatively quickly too, but yeah, how does my opponent save the d-pawn now? I'm actually consider giving up the exchange because my rook is awkwardly placed and just grab the d-pawn. That being said, I may not decide to do that because I love rooks. Okay, so now let's take on g2. I mean, I can take on a2. Is that too scary? Take your time, take your time. Don't rush. Don't rush. So candidate moves. King f6 to go rook g8. King f6 to safeguard my king. Queen a2, just, you know, grabbing a pawn. I have to say I like king f6. Then rook d2 most likely. But rook d2 fails to... Oh no, it doesn't. The bishop is on h5. The rook can come back to d1. Damn. So, king f6, rook d2, rook g8, king f3 probably. Oh, but then I have queen b1, queen takes a2. Does my opponent have enough time for... If king f6, can he play queen g3 followed by queen g8, queen, excuse me, g5 mate? If I go rook g8 check or rook g8, I'm not in time. So king f6, queen g3 is what troubles me. But I could go rook d4. No, I couldn't. Queen g5 checkmate. Come on. Yeah, okay. Queen g3 is very scary. King f6 seems like a bad move. King f6 seems like a bad move. So how about rook g8 first? Rook g8, king f3, king f8. Is that a safer space for my king? It seems that way. I am giving away pressure on d4. Okay, I'm going rook g8 because I think queen g3 is very, very scary after king f6. I'm down to 5 minutes. I'm gonna have to speed up. My bishop is excellent. It covers e5, better than my opponent's bishop. Okay, so is it time to grab the a2 pawn? Maybe not. Let's go king f8 first. I'm too afraid of rook g1 coming with check and then queen g3 coming with check. And also, it's not that easy to save the a2 pawn. What does rook e1 do? What is that? Ah, bishop takes f7, king f7, queen e6. Smart, smart, smart. Smart, smart. All right, so we have to defend against bishop takes, I guess. So rook g7, most likely. Rook g7. Yeah, let's defend against the bishop takes f7. I don't want to allow that. Okay. So my opponent wants to play either fe or f6. Okay, I think I'm in time to just take the pawn on a2. Although I could be wrong. I'm planning to either sack the exchange with rook g6 or play rook g8. If f6. And the reason I took on a2 is not to take a pawn, but to play queen c4. Okay. f6 as expected. So 2 candidate moves. Rook g6, giving up the exchange, which seems scary due to queen h6. Or rook g8, which runs into bishop f7. King f7, queen e6 check is completely losing. So rook g6, bishop g6, hg6, queen h6 check, king e8, queen g7, queen c4, queen g8 check. Oof. No, on queen g7 I take on f2. Yeah, I take on f2, threatening mate and the rook. Okay, that works. Oh no, what am I saying? There is queen h8. Why did I think queen... Oh my god, why did I think queen g7 was forced? What am I doing? Oh my god. Oh, this is so stupid. I thought queen g7 was forced. Why did I think queen g7 was forced? Why? Okay, let's analyze. We have to analyze losses and wins. Let's expand this and let's see where I went wrong. Let me just increase the size of this thing. Okay. Very poor play by me in a great position. Okay. So knight f6, bishop d3, this is all just equal. Yeah, and equal. Okay, so yeah, you can see that black is already better. I knew that. Minus 0.8. Okay. This is fine. Everything's fine. Queen c7 is a mistake. I should have gone c5. Makes sense. But I still think black has a more comfortable position. Bishop g6 is good. hg6 loses a rook, so not that. Wait, rook h6 was better? Okay, but it's still fine. Queen c2 is nice. Okay, I didn't see queen c2. Rook e1 is the best move? Wow. Okay. If you find rook e1 with the idea of bishop takes f7, you are a genius. Wow. Okay. This is very, very nice. I only saw it after they played it. And it's completely crushing. Yeah, it's just completely crushing. This is a devastating attack. Okay, let's see whether there were any mistakes made. Wow, my accuracy is 51%. Oh, Jesus. That's not good. One blunder, one mistake. My opponent had one inaccuracy. Yeah, rook e1 and f5 is just too strong to deal with. It's too strong. Okay, so my opponent had one inaccuracy. This is a great game. 13 centipawn loss. This is... Congratulations to my opponent. He's just... Wait, his blitz rating is 1800? Okay, I mean, he doesn't really play any games. This is rook e1 and f5 was just marvelous. A beautiful attacking pattern. So where did I go wrong? I had a very, very good position. So let's try to see... So, okay, in this position, rook f e8. Or let's say bishop g6, which is a more human way to play. Queen b3, which doesn't make sense to me, and then c5, d5. f5, wow. Yeah, okay, c5, d5, f5 is a pattern I'm going to remember in these positions. c5, d5, f5. Because now if takes, this pawn is safe. Okay, this is very interesting. Yeah, I mean, my opponent played an almost perfect game. Their only inaccuracy was rook g1 here. So yeah, it's hard to fight against almost perfect games, although I don't think this works because my opponent had a disadvantage in the opening, but maybe they start playing better after they get a bad opening. I don't know. So yeah, congratulations once again. Great game. I'm going to learn from this. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye-bye.